Hope Medina with Colorado Code Consulting and the co-chair of the Sustainability Membership Council. Today I'd like to talk about some of the non-traditional ways that water consumption can happen. So join us for today's video, Thinking Outside the Showerhead. There are many different ways that you and I can utilize and consume water. Traditionally, we all think about the shower, the lab, the toilet, making sure that we have low flow and 1.8 gallon flushes, dual flushes. But there's so many other locations that you can think about when talking about water consumption and being aware and being mindful of it. Now, one of the places that may or may not be thought of is your appliances. Is your dishwasher Energy Star, where it utilizes less water? How about your clothes washer? Does it utilize a smaller amount of water when washing your clothes? Another area that may seem a little bit outside of the thought process is, in the food service industry. There are things like your pre-rinse spray, making sure that you have the right gallons per minute that's going on, and the efficiency of it is going to make a big, significant difference. Now, one of the things that may seem like such a insignificant thing utilized in the food industry is a dipper well. Now, I'm not saying to get rid of a dipper well, because those are utilized at coffee shops and at ice cream parlors, and let me tell you, both of those places are places I visit, so I don't want those to go away. But for something that you have to be aware of, that little innocent dipper well, if it had a typical flow rate of half of a gallon per minute and the place is in operation for 16 hours a day, you're talking about that you're utilizing 175,000 gallons of water a year. That's an awful lot of water that's being utilized. So that's something to be conscientious. If you utilize a dipper well that had a larger amount of water per gallon per minute, that can make a significant difference in your water usage. Now, one of the areas that is very rarely ever addressed is looking outside of the building. There's a lot done inside that building, but I think there's so much more that can happen outside of the building in being able to address some of the water usage. That's, your water features, thinking about, how much water they utilize and where does that wastewater go afterwards. Now, one of the biggest things for outside is dealing with your irrigation and your landscaping. With that, it just takes the thought process of what you need to do. And that means, getting the type of plants that need less water or are regional or can deal with the climate that it's going to be planted in. And so that's something to think about. And then there's always things like gray water systems. Gray water can be a great way of utilizing some of the quote-unquote wastewater that happens from your showers. It can be utilized to irrigate your lawn. So there's so many things that you can think about. One of the things may be utilized more in the future is monitoring. Because if you monitor and you know how much water you're using, if something happens, you have a leak or somebody leaves the house bib on outside, there's all this water that's being gone, and so it gives you the opportunity to be aware of what's going on with your water. So thank you for joining us and thinking outside of the showerhead, and we'd like for you to join us tomorrow for our next edition in the Sustainability Membership Council's video series, Voices from Building Safety Month.